30, 20, retard. 5.
And welcome everybody to another episode of Wrong Side Simulations, bringing you the best content from the wrong side of the airplane, the right seat. And as always, my name is Blake and I'm a real-world flight dispatcher aiming to bring you a little more context to your flight sim viewing experience. And today we have a very different kind of stream for my channel. I am not a professional pilot. I don't hold a single pilot's license. So typically when we fly, although I do have what I would consider a little bit more of in-depth knowledge on the Airbus, but today we're going to fly with a whole bunch of MELs that drastically changes the logic of the airplane and degrades some of the capabilities of the aircraft. We are actually going to be flying based off of a real-life flight plan that one of my dispatchers had at work. Once I saw this flight plan, I was helping him out with some of the flight planning on it because it's is a little bit more it's different essentially. We'll get into it once we get into the MELs, but basically this airplane has to fly VOR to VOR, kind of like you would do in World War II, flying to a radio frequency of some sort. So yeah, so we've got a real life flight plan that we're going to go based off of. I printed it out. I was like, you know what, I want to fly this on stream one day. So I don't really know what to expect. I haven't attempted this flight plan. Some of this I may or may not even know how to implement, but I figured we'll go through it together. Kind of give you a good idea of what dispatchers do on a daily basis, whether it's A clean aircraft with good. I've been drinking a Celsius and my spit's all thick. But anyways, whether it's a clean aircraft and there's no MELs and everything is, you know, straightforward and simple, to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 MELs on this aircraft, several of which downgrade the capabilities of the airplane, and also change how we do things as dispatchers. So we're going to do that. We're going to be flying Spirit Wings Flight 3800 from Charlotte to Orlando. And I went ahead and did like all the fuel and everything the same as the dispatcher did in real life on this one. Also have all of the MELs printed out. So yeah, so we'll be going through the MELs, at least the ones that degrade the performance of the aircraft, and yeah, it's gonna be a gnarly one. So before we get to all of that, jump in the cockpit where it's a little bit quieter and say hello to everybody in the chat. So we have the one and only Jet Kid in the house. My man Nolan, how's things looking on going to FS Expo? Any progress on that front? Pete, great to see you, my friend. Great to have you aboard. Welcome, welcome. Dustin, dude, like we said a while ago, it's been a minute. Hope all is well. And my man, Mr. Robert, fellow dispatch manager. He is one of my morning counterparts. Great to see you, dude. We are absolutely going to send it as best as we can. Sapala Porter, yo, what's up? What's up, going? Oh my God, dude, why can I not talk today? Cannot talk today. What's up, man? Callie Simmer, what is going on? Great to see you. How well, you told me, but tell everybody how your last YipJet flight went. She just landed in Portland, which is one of our brand new destinations at YipJet. So if you are looking for a fun virtual airline to fly for, we just added whole butt tons of new airports. I think we're up to 54 destinations now. I went and was adding some last night. I got like another 8 or 9 more to finish up the route network that we want to implement. So lots going on over on the YipJet side of things. Let's see. Ooh, I'm gonna murder this name. Riceливan Music. The cinematics are some of my favorite out of all of them out there. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I handmade the intro myself. Just took a whole bunch of different clippings, took some music, put it all together. So thank you. I appreciate that. It's very nice of you. Captain Eli, Jesus loves all. God bless everyone. Well, that's damn right. Ditto back to you, Captain Eli. Great to see you as always. The champ. Champ's always coming up in here with just throwing up the deuce. What's up, dude? Great to see you, man. Mr. Andrew Divers, one of my dispatch compadres. What's going on, dude? Are you working today, or are you chilling at the house? If you're working, hopefully I can provide a little bit of work entertainment for you. Although I'm sure our higher ups would probably prefer that you're not watching YouTube while working, but I won't say anything. Chase, great to see you, dude. What's going on your way up LA to Oakland? Nice. We actually just implemented that route as well into our route network, amongst other destinations from Oakland. Let's see who else we got. We got Jay in the house. What is up, Jay? Great to see you, dude. And Synchrony, as always. No idea why that sent twice. Hey, you never know. Shit happens on YouTube, right? Great to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. And Aviation Person. I like that name. How's it going? It's going pretty good. We are about to get nitty gritty into a maintenance ridden airplane on this stream. I'm gonna get my charts pulled up because so some of this stream is going to be flying with the MELs, but it's also going to be some of the flight planning with the MELs as well. Every damn time. Callie Simmer, you are too damn sweet, I swear. Hey boss, so before we go any further, can you expand my knowledge and tell me what MELs stand for? Absolutely. So MELs stand for minimum equipment list. It's essentially a book, a thick ass book of all of the maintenance items that, whether like I don't know, let's say like autopilot channel 1, in that book it would list like autopilot channel 1 or autopilot channels, and it would say like 2 installed, 1 required, or none required, and then like if that item is if it can be deferred. So by deferred means like, hey, we're not going to fix it, we can go without it working, we'll fix it at a later date. The MEL book will tell you how long you have until it has to be fixed, how many is installed, how many are required, and if one is deferred, what kind of downgrades happen to the airplane due to the deferral. Most items don't have any downgrade whatsoever, but then there's other ones that do, like some of the ones we're going to go through. But basically, the MEL book is just it's an item of all like the internal components of the airplane that can be deferred, cannot be deferred, and if there are deferrals, what issues, or not issues, but what action items have to be taken as a result of that. Then you also have the CDLs. CDLs is configuration deviation list. It's essentially the same thing as the MEL book, but for external parts of the airplane, so like static wicks, cowlings, stuff like that. So say if you're missing a static wick or you're missing a cowling, like maybe there's a performance factor that needs to be considered due to, like, maybe now there's less, there's more drag because you're missing the cowling, or there's reduced weight off of the airplane. So that's taken into consideration for takeoff and landing performance, and that's all stuff that us dispatchers do when we have something missing off of the airplane. So hopefully that answers your question, and we will get into some of that a bit more as we go into these MELs. So let's see, Jet Kid. Oh, Divers is off for 11 days. Nice, good for you, man. I wish I had 11 days off. So Jet Kid, dude, I gotta get at you off stream about that. I need your opinion on it. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. You know, my opinion is always plentiful. I'm a very opinionated person. I'm not scared to share it. Yeah. See, I'm watching and working as usual. Well, dude, hopefully one day you'll be working and watching from a United desk. And if United don't work out, dude, we'll happily take you down here in my company. But let's see, aviation person asks, are you flying VATSIM? So I'm not. With all of the degradations of the airplane that we're going to have today based off of the MELs, I didn't feel like trying to explain it to VATSIM controllers while we're flying basically class 1 navigation, which is nav-aid to nav-aid. Class 2 is like GPS, and we're not going to be flying any GPS. We're going to be flying all non-RNAV procedures today, at least as best as I know how. Again, I'm not a rated pilot, just a dispatcher, which does give me a little bit more knowledge on the airplane and the systems and that kind of stuff. We do take some training in that regard, but I'm not, I'm not a instrument rated pilot. So, where to start? I guess let's start with the active MELs that are on the airplane. Get my flight plan. I'm not gonna hold the flight plan up to the camera very much because there's plenty of I wouldn't say, it's not really classified information, although it could be. I don't know if it would be in violation of my company's social media policy, stuff like that. There are names on here that I wouldn't want to show, and also who I work for. I'll keep that on the down low as well. So anyways, here are all of the MELs that we have, and we'll go from there. So we've got MEL 22-10-02-2, which is Flight Director Systems. Both are in up. That's probably the biggest one of the entire flight. The flight directors, once those are off, drastically changes the logic of the airplane. Then we've got MEL 22-99-01-1, aircraft downgrade to Cat 1. So we will be restricted to Cat 1 ILS approaches only. We won't be able to shoot Cat 2 or Cat 3. Then there's also MEL 22-99-01-3, aircraft downgrade to Cat 3 single. So that is due to something else, another MEL, and once we get into these MELs, we talk about them, we'll figure out which one that is. But one MEL results in a Cat 3 single downgrade, but the flight directors, I know just from memory, is what results in the downgrade to Cat 1. Then we got MEL 25-21-01-2, passenger seats with inflatable seat belt. So the seat is an op. Then we have another one of those, 25-21-01-2, another seat. Then we got MEL 32-42-01, main wheel braking system. So we have a minimum runway takeoff, minimum runway width for takeoff, which is 148 feet. So if the runway was any more narrow than that, we wouldn't be able to use it. And then finally, for our last MEL, we've got 32-42-04-1, auto brake function is an op, so we will not have any auto brake functionality. Now, in real life, when you have MELs that defer certain items, there would be placards on those items to, it's like a visual cue for the pilots to not use them. So we would probably have a placard over the flight directors on both sides, as well as probably above the auto brake, so we know that the auto brakes, don't work, and we won't try to use them. Right, so let's get into the flight director's MEL. So again, this is MEL 22-10-02-2. Both are an op. So we obviously have two flight directors. Both of them do not work, so we will not have them engaged during this flight. We have, so there's different banners on top. As you can probably see it much, but you got these little banners. It says operational restriction, apply another MEL. We have a FC deferral and a dispatch concurrence. So for the operational restriction, means that there's stuff that we can't do, right? There's restrictions that we have operationally due to this MEL. We also have apply MEL 22-99-01-1, which is the aircraft downgrade to Cat 1. So that means we can't shoot a Cat 2 or Cat 3. Let's see. Let's go down this and talk about it. So repair interval is a Charlie interval. I can't remember. That's more of a maintenance control thing. They know what the Charlies are. We're probably supposed to remember it, but in our world, repair interval just basically means like it's a category Charlie, so it needs to be fixed within this amount of time. Otherwise, the airplane can't fly anymore. That's their world. So we have 2 installed, 0 required. Under remarks and exceptions, it may be in-op provided approach minimums are at or above Cat 1. Alternate takeoff procedures are established and used. For placard adjacent to the flight director push button switch, flight control unit panel, so they'd put a sticker on there. Also a Cat 2, Cat 3 program downgrade to Cat 1 placard. Note, RNAV not authorized. RNAV departure, en route approach, and arrival not authorized. RNAV 2, RNAV 1, RNP 1, RNP approach, which is RNAV GPS/GNSS, RNP AR if equipped. We're not. Operations are not permitted. So basically, no RNAV whatsoever. Note, weather must be greater than 4,000 RVR 3/4 mile before initiating an approach. Another note, US RNAV routes, the Q routes, Tango routes, and Yankee routes are RNAV 2 and are not permitted. ATC flight plan field 18, modify the PBN to the following PBN/A1B1L1. So that's basically to tell ATC that we can't fly RNAV shit. Operations procedure, flight director, Cat 2, Cat 3 not authorized, autoland not authorized, RMP approach not authorized, takeoff, a takeoff or go around without flight director provides, no flight director bars, no auto thrust arming, no guidance available, target speed on PFD as selected on the flight control unit or defaulted to 100 knots. We'll see that as we get into the pre-flight. Actually, you can already see it. Because there's no flight directors, plus we don't have anything else programmed, we have 100 on the FCU, flight control unit. No auto thrust activation when thrust levers are set to the climb detent. When a takeoff or go around is performed without flight directors, proceed as follows. Acquire pitch attitude at about 15 degrees to maintain the speed target with 2 engines operative, or adapt pitch to maintain at least V2 in case of engine failure. When reaching thrust reduction altitude or acceleration altitude, select climb speed on the flight control unit. Set thrust levers to the climb detent. Use manual thrust to activate auto thrust if applicable. Note, if autopilot 1 or 2 can be engaged, basic mode will engage and other autopilot modes are available. So we can use the autopilot, but we're going to be using the basic modes. So probably selected speed, vertical speed for our climb and descent, heading. Since we can't like RNAV to our nav aids that we're going to be using to route ourselves. Dispatch procedure: downgraded Cat 1, RNAV not authorized. Quebec, Tango, and Yankee routes are not authorized. Modify ATC flight plan to modify the PBN following PBN/A1B1L1. Weather must be greater than 4,000 RVR or 3/4 mile for approach. So when it comes to MELs, there are different sections of an MEL that are talking to different entities. So you have the section that's talking to, it's kind of like a general section, but it's also talking to the pilots, especially like when it's in here saying, when reaching thrust reduction altitude, acceleration altitude, select climb the FCU, set thrust levers to climb detent, and use manual thrust. Like that's a pilot thing, right? That's the operations procedure. But then you have the dispatch procedures. That's talking to the dispatcher and telling us what to do. Obviously, like as dispatchers, we don't care about setting climb on the FCU and all that stuff because we're not in the airplane. But it gives us a procedure for ourselves to follow. So that is the flight director's MEL. Basically, to summarize, downgrade to Cat 1, no Q, T, or Y routes, basically no flying anything RNAV, and we're going to be downgraded to basic autopilot functions when it comes to the autopilot. Alright, next one, 32-4201, main wheel braking systems. There's an operational restriction. We have to apply MEL 229901-3, which is the downgrade to Cat 3 single, but that's overridden by the Cat 3 or the Cat 1 due to the flight director MEL. We also apply 32-4204-1, which is the auto brake function. More on that in a minute. There's also a dispatch concurrence. This too is a repair interval or Cat Charlie. There's 4 installed, 3 required. Remarks and exceptions: 1 brake may be inoperative, provided the minimum runway width is 148 feet. Anti-skid systems operate normally. Nose wheel steering operates normally. Affected brake is removed or deactivated. Both reversers operate normally. Green and yellow hydraulic systems are operative. Operative brakes operate normally. AFM performance penalties are applied, so that's basically a dispatch thing. So if we have an inop brake, as dispatchers, we can go into the takeoff and approach performance, and we can basically select 1 brake inoperative. That will extend the landing distance, and also it should check to make sure that we have our runways are within 148 feet or wider. Let's see. Both reversers operate normally. I think I already said that. Approach capability Cat 3 single, and the auto brake function is considered an op. Placard adjacent to the ECAM display, Cat 3 and Cat 2 program downgrade would be placarded. Operations procedure, so here's the pilot stuff. Main wheel brake. Flight preparations, limitations. Maximum landing capability is a Cat 3 single. In case of engine failure at takeoff, retract landing gear when positive climb. Vibrations may be present during 1 or 2 minutes after landing gear retraction. If both engines are operative, keep landing gear down for 1 minute. What is this again? In case of engine failure at takeoff. If both engines are operative, keep landing gear down for 1 minute. Interesting. So we have to keep our landing gear down for 1 minute. Auto brake, if available, must not be used at takeoff and landing. Dispatch will predetermine takeoff and landing performance data used by using aero data. There you go, dispatch. Page 2, Jesus Christ. The flight crew should add this MEL item to FlySmart landing performance application during initialization and ensure that it's accounted for in their landing distance assessment. I think we can actually do that in the EFB on this airplane. In the landing application, this corresponds to the MEL items brake configuration 1 brake inoperative. If FlySmart Plus is not able or available to calculate landing performance, air data AOC may be used as described in the landing performance penalty section below. If ACARS is not available, dispatch can use air data FPC/FTP tool to determine takeoff performance. Takeoff performance penalty. Takeoff must be performed with full thrust if air data is not used to obtain takeoff performance data/TLR information. TLR stands for Takeoff Landing Report. It's essentially a report that gives you performance for every runway that you could take off of or land on with any condition that could exist. To put it shortly. Let's see. What the hell was I? This is a damn book, and pilots have like 45 minutes, 50 minutes on a quick turn to like go through all this stuff, and we haven't even started like pre-flighting yet. Forgot where we're at. Okay, ensure ACARS AOC takeoff data, page 2 of 5 states 1 brake deactivated. If no ACARS, obtain this remark from the radio closeout report. Landing performance penalty if using FlySmart Plus. Performance application ensures brakes configuration 1 inoperative is accounted for as an MEL item. If FlySmart is unavailable, use air data AOC to ensure ACARS AOC landing data says 1 brake deactivated. So it has to go through takeoff, and then it also has to go through landing. That's so you'll hear some of this stuff that sounds repetitive. That's because it's one section is takeoff, one is for landing. Now, dispatch procedure. Minimum runway width is 148 feet. Takeoff performance penalty in air data select 1 brake inoperative. Landing performance penalty select 1 brake deactivated. Downgrade to a Cat 3 single. Again, that is overridden by the flight director MEL. It is actually going to be a Cat 1. And then last but not least, 32-42-01-1, which is applied due to the brake being inop, and that is the auto brake function. We have reoccurring action required by the flight crew. Apply MEL 22-99-01-3. FC deferral, dispatch concurrence. It is a Cat Charlie as well. 1 installed, 0 required. Remarks and exceptions may be inop, provided approach minimum is downgraded to Cat 3 single and normal braking is not affected. Placard adjacent to the auto brake push button switch. Cat 2, Cat 3 program sticker would be thrown on there. Operations procedure, auto brake function. Before engine start, check normal braking system. Clear ground personnel. Yellow electric hydraulic pump is on. PTU verify auto. Park and brake off. Brake pedals press. Triple indicator, check 0 brake pressure showing. And yellow electric hydraulic pump comes off. I've actually seen V1 do that in his streams quite a few times. Let's see. Note, ensure that selected approach procedures do not require use of auto brakes. And then on our final page here, note, when takeoff memo is displayed on ECAM E/WD, I don't know what that is, disregard the line auto brake max blue. Dispatch procedure, downgrade Cat 3 single. So there we go. We have briefed ourselves on all of the MELs. Now, even though I have the flight plan right here, we're going to talk about it real quick from a planning perspective, just so you can see what a pain in the ass old school flight planning is like. Whoa. Alright, so let's see if this works. I reckon. That's Valence. I want charts. There we go. Alright, let's get this off. Bam. Okay. What is this doing? Get off. Hit a button. Okay. So, I already had the flight plan planned through SimBrief, so really all we'll have to do is like import the flight plan. But before we do, I'm going to show you all just kind of like how we do things. I don't like this chart. There's too much stuff on this chart. It's not realistic, so we're going to open up real quick for flight. Alright, that is one of my delivery flights. Old route that's in there. So we'll turn off aeronautical, turn on US high. So if we're doing this old school, a lot of times people, like, they would have to use paper. They'd use these paper charts and you have to go find the airport and like use your finger. we'll make things a little bit easier on us. We'll modify ourselves up to the 21st century, and we'll find Charlotte, which is where we're leaving out of. Now, the first thing we would have to do is find ourselves. We have to find ourselves a good non-RNAV SID. So we'll start with that. SID. Now, obviously, RNAV SIDs say RNAV, and non-RNAV don't say RNAV. So, let's find. Let's see. We'll start from the top. RNAV, RNAV, RNAV. We've got the Charlotte 2 departure. Let's take a look at that. Could probably work. I don't remember what this dude used. He didn't use this one. But so this is a non-RNAV. It's kind of like an area departure, although it's utilizing, basically flying the needles, flying the headings off of a VOR, which is the Charlotte VOR to start with. Since I didn't use that one, we'll keep working our way down. We've got the Estra 4 RNAV, 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 the Kermit, which is what he used. So from here, it's another, essentially the same thing, but you got more points and stuff. So this is what we're going to end up using, just because that's what they used. I probably would have used the other because it didn't really matter. It's the first one I would have found. I do know just from the flight plan, he has it set the Kermit 3. I think it's Hamlin. No, Trill. Where's Trill at? Down here. Another reason why I would have gone elsewhere, because we kind of want to start going a little bit to the east first, I believe. Yeah, like I preferably would like to try to come and hug the coast, because that's where the star is going to be at. But this guy opted to go to the southwest first, which is, it's not a big deal. Back to the charts. So Kermit 3 Trill transition. So we would take off. I have to find where, because it puts all this stuff in words for you. And we're going to be taking off a 36 center. I don't remember what this was. This was all 36 right. Climb heading 003 to 1400. Left turn on heading 330. Which doesn't make sense. So we turn 330. That's going the wrong way. I don't know. But anyways, alright, so we're going to use the Kermit 3 Trill transition. So we'll type that in. Alright, so there we go. Gets us down this way. So here, we have to find nav aids that are within range and that are operable. So there are 3 types of ranges on nav aids. You've got terminal, which is 25 miles. You got low, which is 40 miles, and then you've got high, which is 120. I think it's 130 miles. And every time I get one of these, I always Google it because I never want to like risk using my memory. Range of a high VOR. 130 miles. So essentially, when you're using 2 nav aids, to get the most range, you would use 2 high range nav aids, typically VORs. And when you combine the range of both of those, that's going to give you 260 miles. So 130 plus 130 gives you 260. If you're like, pushing right at the outer edges of that range. So you have to find not only nav aids that are within range, but then you also have to confirm that they are working. So this guy used Savannah. So let's go find Savannah. And you can see it right here. So we got the Savannah VOR. We can confirm that is a high VOR. Although I feel like that doesn't. Are we in the high? Yeah. Typically, like you would see, now they just redid a whole bunch of stuff. The FAA redid a lot of shit on the East Coast. But typically you would see like a little ring around the nav aid like this. but like Columbia doesn't have one, and it's a high. So I don't know if that's just, maybe that's a result of the changes that were recently made, and they took the little rings off of the charts or what. But anyways, so we've got Savannah here, so we'll type that in. And we'll keep coming down, see if we can't find another VOR. So we got Brunswick, but that is a low, and you can tell because it's gray and it's got the L in parentheses. So we'll keep coming down towards Orlando in this general direction. Let's see. I think this one's cut off. It's Craig. So we got Craig. Was Craig used? It was not. Keep going on down. Then we got Ormond, which is a high VOR. Got the little ring around it like we're used to seeing, which is the next one that they used. So Ormond. So now we'll draw the little line to there. And what I like to do, being in the 21st century, I like to drop it down to here. And this will tell you the distance between each waypoint, which is really nice. So between Trill and Savannah, it's 57 miles. And then between Savannah and Ormond, 170 miles. Well, again, the range of two high VORs is 260 miles, if they both work, which we would have to confirm that, and we'll do that here in a second. So we have 170 miles. Obviously, that's a lot less than 260, so we know we are well within range of two high VORs. After that, we're close enough now that we can start looking for a star, so we'll come back over to our charts, and we'll look up Orlando stars. Standard terminal arrival procedure, and we're looking for any ones that don't say RNAV. So RNAV, Orlando 6. What did they use? They used BitTho. Oh, wow, wrong thing. All right, duh. I was in the SIDS. So anyways, we got Alanya, that's RNAV. Then we got BitTho, which is non-RNAV, because it doesn't say RNAV on it. And look at this, it's perfect. You got Ormond here, which is being used on the route, right? This is also a transition onto the star, so this will work out pretty good to getting us down into the terminal area of Orlando. And this is actually what they used. But let's continue on and see if there's anything else that looks good. So we got the Goofy 7 arrival. This is non-RNAV as well, but this is coming from the south, so that doesn't work. Grinch 4's RNAV. How do you say that? G-Tout? RNAV, Jafar RNAV, Joker's RNAV, Lease 3, non-RNAV. And you could essentially use this. If we didn't come down the coast and we came down a little bit more inland, this would be usable. But also, it does have Savannah as a transition fix, and we are using Savannah on our route. So theoretically, we could use this, and hell, it looks like it even gets you a bit closer. But we'll stick with what's planned just because it's what we got. But the Lease 3, we could actually use that. Mine 5, see where that's coming from the southwest. RNAV. So BitTho is going to be what we're using because that's what was already planned. But if we wanted to, we could switch it over to the Lease 3 arrival. Yeah. So we'll minimize this. Throw in the BitTho. And there we go. And as you can tell, it's not really flying on any airways, and that's because we don't have any GPS capabilities for the most part. We're flying World War II style from one nav aid to another nav aid, one radio frequency to another radio frequency. So once we turn this off, now you can kind of see it's actually a pretty decent looking route. It's pretty direct. So I would be totally fine with this as a dispatch manager as long as everything works. So that's the next point. Let's make sure that everything works. So we're going to have to check NOTAMs for all nav aids on the route, which consists of Charlotte. Actually, we'll do this one. Charlotte, Intellit VOR, Savannah, Ormond, and then Orlando, ORL. Hit search. I like to sort by class, so it kind of puts everything together. And then from here you can get fancy with it, and you can you can search like nav, unsuitable, we wouldn't care about service. We'll start with this. We'll start with unsuitable. So you have to go through and check all the NOTAMs and make sure that everything works. So service SMR, not using that, so we don't care. I'm just going to kind of, oh wait, I forgot, I got to load up all these NOTAMs from the highlight. There we go. Okay, so went on down, we got runways and stuff. Obviously we would care about that in real life, but for the sake of just figuring out our routing, we don't care about those. Let's see, com remote, com VOR voice. So Ormond voice doesn't work, but we don't really care because we're not using voice to navigate. As long as it's emitting the transmission, we're good. Or com remote, com outlet. No, that's permanent. So far we're looking good. Obviously we got some ILS stuff going on, but we don't care about that in regards to routing. Obstacles. We should be out of anything that would be NOTAMed. And just to show you what like a VR NOTAM would look like, let's go TJBQ, BQN. So right here, nav aid, nav, VORTAC, unsuitable. So basically, if we were coming into Aguadilla and we were wanting to use the BQN VORTAC for any reason, we wouldn't be able to use it because it is permanently unsuitable. So that's what a nav aid NOTAM would look like. Right, so we've got our route. We've got everything implemented into SimBrief. So now I'm going to go into Volantis set up and ready. Pull our charts up. Flights, import. There we go. Now, I discovered this last night. I don't know how many of y'all, like, I've always been one to use the airport diagram like this. But man, let me show y'all something. If you zoom in, and let's see, I think I have to have one of these turned on. Yeah, look at this shit, man. This is phenomenal. And I've noticed too that the icon reacts faster on this than it does on the diagram. So like if you're wanting to turn on a particular taxiway, if you're using the airport diagram, there's a fair amount of lag compared to this. So this is pretty awesome. So just zoom in on your airport and make sure the little airport icon is lit up and you're good to go. Okay. Now we're at in the process. Obviously, so this is a lot going on. It's a very complicated flight, even though we're flying like how they did back in World War II days. So let's go ahead and pre-flight the airplane, and then we'll start kind of implementing the procedural side of these MELs. So as always, our batteries are already on, ground power is on, crew supply, ground control, CVR test. So that's the captain, nav 1, nav 2, nav 3. Nav lights, no smoke in the auto. Emergency lights are already on, did that so that our passengers could board. Although they've been waiting forever. I'm sure it's pretty hot, so we'll turn a little temperature down. Go do our fire tests. Engine 1. And engine 2. Cool. Alrighty, so over to, I like to start from top, work my way down. So from the top, never come down to here. So we are not going to turn on the flight directors because they are deferred. So we'll keep ourselves from hitting that as best we can. Constraints, VORs. Constraints, VORs. Cool. Got our anti-skid on, and then we'll make sure that it works. Normally we'll do our little brake test and all that kind of stuff here in a little bit. Got everything into auto, TCAS to auto, looking good. Alright, now let's program the McDo. AOC menu. Actually, before we do that, just come over here and get things. Yep, we're already late. Let's see, mass and balance. Load aircraft. We'll do fast time. And now we'll come down here. Alrighty, flight init. Sometime today. Spirit Wings 3800, we are departing Charlotte, heading down to Orlando. I didn't want an alternate. Bastard. None. Generates. We have plenty of gas for an alternate though. So essentially what happened with this airplane in real life, it was delayed a long time for numerous reasons, from mechanical to crew timing out, all sorts of shit. They're trying to get the airplane recrewed. Charlotte is not like a hub for us or a crew base or anything, so it took a while to get crew up there. Ultimately the airplane was delayed for a long time. A lot of the passengers got off, I believe, but nonetheless the dispatcher went with what was already on board fuel wise. I believe the flight was originally planned for a daytime arrival with thunderstorms, that kind of stuff, so there was a lot of gas on the airplane. Alright, let's get this, let's re-import this. Don't want that alternate. There we go. Alrighty, data. Let's check our nav data because it did change a few days ago. So for those of you who haven't updated your nav data in the past week, you might want to go do that. Let's see, AC status. And our nav data is current from the 20th of April to the 17th of May. I updated my nav data. Nav hub. You know what I bet happened? I bet I forgot to. I was waiting on all the ones to finish on the front page, the first page, and I guarantee you, I forgot to go here. Yep, that's what it be. Oh well, I'm not gonna do that now because I could mess stuff up. Anyways, so our nav data is out of date. We would have to call maintenance control, and they'd have to come update the airplane. But we're not gonna worry about that. Right, so init request. Get that FO view. Clear that out, and we are in KS 3800. Cost index, we're flying 20. And let's see, cruising altitude is 39,000 feet. Dispatcher probably should have planned it a little bit lower than that. But we're going to try to do what he has set. And put ourselves in the shoes of the pilots who flew this flight. And the temperature is minus 59. Triple pause. 40,000. Throw a couple extra digits on there. Wind request. Sweet. Flight plan, Charlotte, departing off of runway 36 center. And we are on the Kermit 3 non-RNAV departure. And the Trill transition. We'll insert that. Now, It's got Charlotte in here because that is the first point on the SID, because basically you're flying off of that VOR. But we wouldn't want to LNAV to that. So essentially what we're going to do is I'm just going to delete this so it doesn't paint on the nav display incorrectly. Don't know if that's proper procedure, but it would make sense to me. So we'll insert there. We're going to leave that discon for the vectoring. Okay, so then we've got the rest of our points: Trill, Savannah, Ormond, and now we're going to put in our star, which is the Bithos 7. So Orlando, planning to land on ILS 35 left, because 35 right is closed for a while. Bithos 7, and the Ormond VOR is the only transition onto this star, so we don't have to select one. Insert that. Look for any other discontinuities. We should have one. Guess not. Ends at Bitho, and then it would be vectors from Bitho. Yeah, I would have thought there would have been a discontinuity right here, because as you'll see, well, that's a finish up, and then we'll be able to see. CMC menu, receive messages. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah. All right, secondary flight plan. We'll copy the active. Let's see, Andy's can throw a hold on that. No. Throw a hold on Trill. Although I doubt we'd go that far out, but whatever. Radnav, throwing the Charlotte VOR. And then the next VOR for that's going to be Savannah, so we'll go ahead and hard tune Savannah in there. Sweet. The net B page. Zero fuel weight's 123.3. At least planned zero fuel weight's 123.3. We'll throw 30. Actually, sounds like they're done boarding. Wow. Oh, I know why it's heavier. Whatever. All right, 126.9. Whoops. So something changed at some point with the SimBrief profiles for Fenix. I am using a real-world flight profile for this actual airplane, minus the engines. But that's what's resulting in my zero fuel weight being more than what's planned. So we're 3,000 pounds heavier, roughly. Almost 4,000. So that would mean in real life we would have to get an amendment from dispatch and get our numbers reset for being over 2,000 pounds heavier than planned. So now we definitely can't fly as high as we want to, so we'll have to address that here in a minute. Block fuel is 19.4. Taxi fuel, we'll call it 500. Route reserve 0. Alternate, we don't have one, and our reserve fuel is 3.2. Alrighty, so let's go back over to the init page. Optimum says 350, so we'll amend to that. Any lower, we'd also need another amendment from dispatch. Okay, performance, let's get our performance numbers. While we're about to do that, let's go ahead and start up the APU. Make sure my there we go. Alright, let's get our takeoff performance, and let's see if we can. I don't think we can apply a deactivated brake. I think you can on the landing distance. Let's see. I know there's some things you can apply. Braking, anti-skid. Okay, so we can do auto brake fault. We can do that one. But don't see anything for like a deferred brake itself. Anyways, we're going to be taking off of 3-6 center. It's drive, flaps, config, optimal, force, toga, no anti-ice. We'll keep off packs on. Pull our current weights, 145.8 on the takeoff weight compared to 142.2 that was planned. And we got our current METAR. We'll go ahead and hit calculate. Alrighty, so it's going to be flaps 1 down 0.2. Flexing 63. 1700 on the engine out and acceleration, climb altitude. V speeds 47, 47, 49. Alright, performance is set. Alrighty. The APU, actually we'll let the APU run for a couple minutes. Do the APU bleed warm up, or APU warm up. Let's see. Top altitude for Charlotte on this SID is 8,000 feet. V2 is 149. So we're having to manually select this because we're not going to have auto thrust, at least on takeoff. A takeoff will go around without flight director provides, no flight director bars, no auto thrust aiming, or arming rather, no guidance available. Target speed on PFD is selected, so we've done that. On the PFD, it's selected on the FCU or default to 100. So we got 100 in the on the FCU, and 149 on the FCU, 149 is blue in the PFD. And then no auto thrust activation when thrust levers are set to climb detent. When takeoff go around is performed without flight directors, proceed as follows. Acquire pitch attitude of 15 degrees to maintain the target speed with 2 engines operative, and then 12.5 if we have an engine failure. When reaching thrust reduction altitude, so 1700 feet MSL, select climb speed on the FCU. So we'll have to select what speed we want, so we'd probably spin it up to 250 knots. Set thrust levers to the climb detent. Use manual thrust or activate auto thrust if applicable. So when we get airborne, we'll select speed, climb detent, and then we'll push the button and see if it works. If it don't, we'll have to manually set power like a damn CRJ for the entirety of the flight. So that is the thrust portion of this. So when we take off, it says climb heading 003 to 1400 feet and then left turn to 330. So we'll start with 003, then go 330, and then from there vector ourselves over to our first fix. Let's clear out these messages because those drive me nuts. But y'all see how long this shit takes, and pilots have to do all of this. They have to do it, understand it, ensure the planning is right, so they need to go through the charts and read the charts and make sure that everything's correct, because there are some charts which like this non-RNAV SID is for aircraft flying flight level 110 and below. Like that kind of stuff exists. So they have to make sure that they go through everything with a fine-tooth comb and try to get out on time. Doesn't usually happen, but as long as we're safe, that's the main thing I would care about. Okay, where we at? So we got our speed, got our heading, got our altitude. Everything is on. It needs to be on. We can turn on the APU bleed, disconnect ground power. Fuel pumps can come on. Disconnect everything from the ground. Ground services. Pull everything. Jetway is pulled. Cool. Prepare for pushback. Alright, auto. I think we're set. So we will not be using auto brakes. So in the event of an aborted takeoff, we'll have to use manual braking, and that is due to the auto brake function being deferred. All right, so real quick before we go, I was gonna.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
I'd have to go to the airport flight directory to look at the runway widths. I can confirm that all the runways we're going to be using today are 148 feet or wider. Actually, we can go to do this on chart so y'all can see. Alrighty, so Charlotte taxi, if you go to airport info continued, it should tell us here. So we're departing on 36 right, and it says right here 150 feet wide. So if you need any runway information, we can show you that here. Orlando, we're planning to land on 35 left, and 2 is 150 feet wide. So we are compliant with the width restriction on the MELs. 35 left. Cool. Alrighty, we're gonna go nose to the right, or yeah.
Release parking brakes, please.
All right. There's our beacon on. It is now. And actually, before we do this,
Release parking brakes, please.
let's roll through a departure brief real quick. Sorry, I'm gonna have to listen to these people yelling for a while, but it is important, especially with a flight like this. So, departure brief. It's going to be a right seat takeoff. Aircraft type is a 320 for tail strike avoidance. We have 7 MELs, 5 of which degrade performance of the aircraft. We're restricted to a Cat 1 approach. No flight directors. We've already talked about that procedure. Main wheel braking system, so we're one braking op, no auto brake function, so we'll be using manual braking for any aborted takeoff. It's going to be a 2-engine taxi. Our taxi route will be, we'll take Echo, we'll take Echo to Echo 1 short 36 center. We have a hot spot at intersection Echo and Sierra, as well as runway 5 to cross, so we'll use extreme caution there. Takeoff runway is going to be runway 36 right. Terrain's no factor, weather is no factor, hot spots and runways we've already talked about. Emergency procedures before V1 be my decision to reject the takeoff. We'll use manual braking in that instance. Come to a complete stop, set the parking brake, we'll call flight sensor stations, analyze situation, and call for any ECOM actions, emergency evacuation checklist as required. After V1, we're going to fly runway heading of 003. We'll speed up, clean up, engine out 1700. We are over max anyway if we need to come back. And if we come back, we'll come back to 36 left. If all goes as planned, we're going to fly the Kermit 3 departure. Top altitude is 8,000 feet. And we're squawking 2,000 feet. We are not, or 2,000, not 2,000 feet. And we are not on BATSIM. Before start checklist, maintenance log entails onboard check. Cover pets complete. Gear pins covers are removed. Signs are on auto. ADIRs are in nav. Min fuel is 14.1. We've got 19.3 on board. Told you we got a lot of gas. Altimeter is 3015 set. EFB's checked. Windows door slides closed and arm. Beacons on. Thrust levers are in idle. Parking brakes on. Transponders in auto. Before start checklist is complete. Brakes release, clear push. Man, y'all weren't ready for all this talking today, were y'all? There's a lot going on with this shit. Alright, let's start the block. And there was something about running something for 60 seconds. We'll go ahead and start 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. let's see, it shouldn't be the flight director, MEL. Oh, okay, we're going to have to keep the landing gear down for 1 minute. Interesting. So we'll have to run a timer on that one. Let's see how fast I forget, because I'm sure I'm going to. I've got a company aircraft over there.
Please set parking brakes.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
And we're rolling 2. Oh shit. Hang on guys, I gotta
Bypass pin removed.
have a real quick meeting.
Left is clear.
Like real quick. Just gonna sit here and burn gas. I'll wait on that to start. We'll roll through some things. So he's going to show us the pin. We'll flash the light at him, let him know that we've got that signal. And now we can do after start flow. So engine mode selector to normal. Arm spoilers, reset rotor trim, flaps 1. It'll be down 0.2. On TA. We'll kill the APU, and now we got to ensure that braking works normally. So what we're going to do that,
Traffic.
I'm gonna hitch down my chair. Should start talking any minute now. Let's see. So we're going to turn on the. Actually, I want to follow the procedure correctly. Okay. So the ramp area is clear of personnel. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn on the yellow hydraulic pump, yellow electric hydraulic pump. The PTU is in auto. Park and brake off. All right. Brake pedals press, and you can see the brake pressure is 0. We have the triple indicator check 0, brake pressure showing, it does. And now we can set the parking brake, if I can hit the right button. Set the parking brake back and shut off the yellow electric pump. And so now we have verified that our we have normal braking system. Come on guys, let's get this shit going. I guess it's still 1 minute early. Okay. Right. Guess we'll go ahead and start our taxi. Brakes released. Brake check. Pressure 0. So for anybody who may not know me, I'm a manager of flight dispatch at my airline, and my special project, one of my special projects, is to handle new aircraft deliveries, and that's what this meeting is about. So I'll be right back with y'all. Oh, it sounds like they're just giving it a couple more minutes. But yeah, so I handle aircraft deliveries from the OCC side of things, and let's see what company's going to do. But yeah, so this meeting is about new aircraft deliveries, and being that I am, responsible for aircraft deliveries, we got one coming next week that I will actually be riding on. I have to make sure I'm in attendance on these meetings. I think it's every Tuesday, 3 o'clock. Alrighty, take a right here. I'll put us on Echo. More than likely, this if they hurry up and start this meeting, we'll probably be done before we get to the end of the runway. It's usually pretty quick.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started.
Alright guys, be right back. All right. All of our deliveries are on time. What traffic am I using? I am using PSXT and real traffic. Has the least amount of latency compared to all others. So that is what I use. And since you speak of that, let's see if we can't get Charlotte Tower up. Man, they really only have one? Yep, there's one. Charlotte Approach. Guess it's something to listen to, right? So we'll turn that on. Properties. Charlotte Approach. Okay. All right, so let's finish up some stuff while we're waiting in line. Huh, I don't know why y'all can't. Huh, it's like it's not registering where y'all can hear it. Oh well. Alright, so, mini brief. We are departing runway 36 in, our gross weight's 146.0. We'll say that we got our amendment from dispatch for exceeding 2,000 pounds on the gross takeoff weight. Flaps config 1 plus F. Fuel on board 19.0. V1's 147, V2's 149. Top altitude's 8,000 feet. 8,000's blue. And our first fix will be Andes. We're departing on runway heading 003, and then at 1,400 feet, make a turn to 330 on departure. And I love how airplanes just disappear out of thin air. Right, flight controls check. We got full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder. Oh, come on now. Let's see what works now. Rudder. Full left, full right, neutral. Flight controls checks are complete before takeoff flow. Cannot use auto brake, so we're going to not push that button. Status TO config, and we'll have just like the MEL said. Auto brake max is blue. That is to be expected. Alright, so other things that we can expect is once we engage takeoff power, once we go to what's it called? Once we go to flex, we will not have auto thrust auto engage. So airplane will accelerate, we'll rotate, and then we'll pitch 15 degrees to maintain V2. And then at acceleration altitude, we will accelerate to our desired speed by going into climb. We'll spin up the speed, and then we'll try auto thrust at that time. We're going to leave gear down for 60 seconds, so we'll start that timer once we get off the ground. And yeah, hopefully this goes well. There's a lot going on in this flight. Shaq, dude, what's going on, man? I've been talking a lot in this episode, so sorry to just now be getting to you, but hope you're having a great day, my friend. And I cannot wait for Fenix V2 myself. Dude, I'm a huge Airbus guy. I love Fenix. I love this version. I can't even imagine what V2 is going to be like. It's going to be fucking awesome. Dustin said, can we get a spare? Yeah, that's typically the question that we ask as dispatchers whenever we have these kind of airplanes. We're like, yo, can we get a swap? Or fix this? Because this sucks. Alright, let's see. 003 1400, left turn, heading 330. And we're going to go after this guy. So probably what I'll do is I'll line up. And then, because this 003 is runway heading, so that'll get me on runway heading. And then go ahead and pre-select 330. That should reduce my workload. This is not an easy type of flight to do, single pilot. Alright, we're going to line up and hold. Alright, before takeoff, gross weight comparison complete. Pitch trim is 29.9% CG set. V1, VR, V2 flex is 47, 47, 49, flex 63. Flaps config 1 plus F. Flight instruments checked, flight controls checked, ECMO, takeoff all green, ECM status is checked, predictive wind shears on auto, TCAS set TR, cabin cruise advised, main bridge complete, takeoff runway 36, center is confirmed. Fuel, man, 14.1, we got 18.9 on board, engine mode selectors normal, bleed packs are set before takeoff is complete. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alrighty, so there's runway heading. See where that traffic is. Don't see anybody. Take a swig and let's get out of here. I have a box tick that proximity of your aircraft will make them disappear. They should reappear when enough space is given. I think I have that selected too. Although I don't know what box that would be. We'll look at it once we get airborne. Zoom out. Alright, here we go. %. Damn, we have nothing on the FMA. Some gusty winds, there's 8 knots. Hundo. Damn, it's windy. Oh. Airplane. B1. Rotate. Fighting those damn winds. Alright, pitch them 15. Start the 60-minute timer. There's 1400. We'll turn left 330. I will nose down and accelerate. Alright, we got a positive trend on the airspeed. And let's go climb. Spin up the speed. Flying with my left hand, scrolling with my right. Alright, there's 60 seconds. And let's go gear up. This one spoolers. That's speed. Flaps up. Alright, now let's see if we can... Alright, so we got auto thrust. That's a good first start. Keeping a shallow climb going while we accelerate. Start pitching up for speed. And let's get autopilot on. Go autopilot 2. So we have basic functionality of the autopilot. So now what we're going to do is we're going to input our first fix of Andy's. Now when we hit insert, it's going to try to go LNAV. We don't want it to do that, so as soon as we hit insert, we're going to pull, and then we'll steer the airplane using heading. Track of 192. Alright, we'll keep the climb going. And we'll take it up to 27. So we've got the Charlotte VOR off to our left at 12.7 miles, and we got Savannah ahead on a kind of a 190 heading, which is about where that line is going, so looking good there. 190 miles ahead of us. So again, we have no flight director, so we have no flight director bars, no guidance, and it definitely messes with the logic of the airplane, which is why we lose some of our capabilities. Alright, there's 10,000 feet. So the outside air temperature is 16 degrees, so we are not in icing conditions. As we climb, it's going to get colder. And so that's the thing with this stream too. I'm going to have to pay more attention to the airplane and what the airplane's doing, since I'm having to drive it around via heading select instead of like LNAV functionality. So it's going to be like a little bit harder to talk in the chat. Alright, so trying to catch back up in the chat. We've got about 190 miles to go. Let's see, when's the next... Man, we got that little curve there. And I guess, theoretically, we could request direct Savannah from ATC. But we can also follow the little path on the SID. And so what we'll do is we'll leave it at 250 so we can get up to altitude, since we need to get higher faster, being that the dispatcher planned us really high for this short of a flight. It's an hour 16 minutes. And then once we get to altitude, then we'll accelerate beyond 250 and probably go to like 280 or something like that. In fact, when we get to altitude, we'll try to go into managed speed and just see what it gives us. If it's still able to calculate a cost index value. I'm not sure if it will or not, but we'll find out. All right, so it's plus 8, so we are in icing conditions. Then we got visible moisture and the temperature. So So we'll turn that engine anti-ice on. And just kind of watching this green line, make sure we stay on it. We're 0.1 to the right of our route. So if we want, we can adjust like 1 degree, get back on it, and adjust it back over to 186. Skimming through these tops. Alright, so we're back on the route, so we'll bring it back to 186. Alright, have a look at this. We're still good on speed. Still climbing. We'll have to lower this climb rate as the airplane starts to struggle to maintain speed at higher altitudes. Here comes transition altitude. We'll go ahead and pull standard. We're on the way. Get rid of that engine anti-ice. Looks like we're above all the clouds for the most part. And you know that from a passenger's perspective, you'd have no idea that any of this was going on. Like all the restrictions and the pain in the ass that these MELs are causing. And I'm gonna keep it going up to 35. Looks like the airplane's starting to struggle a little bit. You can tell it's not maintaining the speed. So we'll lower the nose a bit. So does nav mode still work even though LNAV is MEL'd? At least based off of this, it does. Whenever we insert a direct fix, it automatically kicks into nav mode and it tries to LNAV over to that fix. Per the MEL, it says it's prohibited, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it's inoperative. So being that it's prohibited to stay in compliance with the MEL, we will not use the LNAV function or nav mode. But it looks like the airplane is still capable of it even though flight directors are off. You can see the airplane was getting a little bit to the left of a route. It's mainly due to the winds. Shifted from a headwind to a right crosswind. Kind of drive us back onto our route. We'll lower the nose some more. So the airplane's still struggling to maintain speed. Yes, I don't know if the accuracy, like if the nav accuracy is degraded because of the flight directors being off. Like I don't really know what's driving the fact that we can't fly RNAV, SID, en route, star, or approach. Let's see. Yeah, we got high accuracy. So got 14 miles to Andes. Once we get going to Savannah, we'll do our hat flow and get prepared for approach. Does tracked FPA work? Yeah, as far as I know it does. It's a good idea. I didn't think about that. In all honesty, I haven't used track FPA very much. So I wouldn't really know how to utilize it best. But yeah. So we got our turn coming up. But I see what it's doing though. So it's giving us the track we want versus the heading. I like that. We'll try that. Good idea, my friend. Thank you. Thank you for suggesting that. It's, we'll see how that works out. And that's why I love doing this kind of stuff. I love taking these real life flights that I see at work and bringing them to the sim so that it can add more context to what the guys are doing and seeing in the cockpit. And that kind of translates to flight planning so that we have a better understanding of what's going on. And so that's a really good tool. Alrighty. Let's see. RNAV not authorized. RNAV departure, en route, approach, and arrival not authorized. RNAV 2, RNAV 1, RNP 1, RNP approach, RNP AR. Operations not permitted. It's really weird. I'd like to know why. Not permitted. Alright, so based off of this real life flight plan, now obviously this was on the 14th of May. It is currently the 23rd, so obviously the weather is different, winds are different, all that kind of stuff. But based off of this real life flight plan, we should be burning about 600 pounds of gas. Obviously it's actually going to take more because SimBrief's quoting 1 hour 16 minutes with a 6,500 pound burn. Although I was adjusting the fuel, the perf factor in the airplane profile, but they got 1 hour and 6 minutes on this calculation. Oh, see, I got complacent. Look at that. Missed our turn. So let's go trill, insert, pull heading. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and accelerate because we're starting to get pretty close to the VLS. So we'll level off at 31. Alright, so after Savannah is going to be Ormond. Then once we pass Savannah, we'll throw Orlando in there. Alright, so there's 31. Alt star. And let's accelerate. .2 to the right, so we'll start bringing her back to the left. Now, if I was flight planning this flight, I would have stopped it at 31,000, maybe 33. But with all the other issues going on with this airplane, probably 31. Just to reduce the workload, level off, let the pilots start focusing on just the en route and make things a little bit easier for them. So we should have roughly an hour of extra gas, maybe a little bit more than that, based off of this flight plan. Based off SimBrief, we've got, let's see, contingency fuel 20 minutes plus extra 56. So yeah, about the same. Alright, so while we're accelerating, let's do our hat flow real quick. Let's see, flight plan. Let's go fix info. K MCO 35 left. The 5-mile range ring. Next. We'll draw our extended center line. So off of spur, we want the opposite of runway heading, which is 185. Let's check on the airplane. Okay, let's keep the climb going. Alrighty, RadNav, we've already got that set for now. Prog page, KMCO 35 left. Perf page, next, and next. Let's get our current METAR. Ooh, Orlando's got thunderstorms. Wind 020 at 16. Temperature is 29. Altimeter 2988. And minimums is going to be 200 feet. And again, we are restricted to a Cat 1 approach. We cannot shoot Cat 2, Cat 3 due to the flight director MEL. Fuel prediction showing we've got 8,800 pounds of extra gas. Somehow that's coming out to an hour 59. That ain't right. Huh. And secondary, we'll delete the secondary. We'll copy the active, and we'll throw in ILS 36 right as a backup. Cool. Alright, 93 miles to Savannah. 38 miles to Trill, which is our next waypoint. And I had Trill set as the engine out. Definitely wouldn't have flown this far. So anyways, right now, Orlando, this is their current METAR. Wind 020 at 16, gusting 21, 10 statute miles, thunderstorms, scattered at 3,500, cumulonimbus clouds, scattered at 65, scattered at 85, broken 25, temperatures 29, altimeter, temperatures 29, dew point 22, altimeter 2988. We got lightning distant to the northeast. Oh great, that's where we're coming from. Northeast through southeast. Thunderstorms, the occasional lightning in cloud, cloud to ground, northeast, southeast. Thunderstorms northeast, southeast, moving east. Vicinity showers northeast and southeast. Good times. All right, well, let's open up Radar Omega and see what the weather's looking like. Got a turn coming up in 29 miles, so hopefully we don't get stuck on this too long. I get long-winded on stuff, obviously. Alright, so here is Orlando Airport. And obviously we've got some thunderstorms. Looks like it's... Oh shit, it's tracking southwest. So I guess the Atlantic sea breeze is prevailing today, because typically you'll have the Atlantic sea breeze and the Gulf sea breeze, and they kind of collide, right? And so then you get this linear line of weather down the state of Florida. But it looks today that with all these cells moving to the west, that the Atlantic breeze is stronger than the Gulf breeze, and it's overpowering it, pushing all the storms inland off of the Atlantic. So this one's going west. That one's kind of going south. That one's going west. That one's south. This one's north. Shit. Winds are wicked here in Florida today, it seems like. But yeah, so this one's going to be an issue. Now, let's look at Orlando arrivals. Now, we are running live traffic, right? So we might see some holding. We'll probably see some targets on TCAS and pretty close to us as they're spinning. So let's pull up flight radar and see what live traffic is doing right now. Airport in MCO. So far, looks like they're trying to squeeze in as many as they can. It'll probably be pretty quick before everybody starts catching some wind shear and starts going around. Looks like they've moved all arrivals to 36 left to try to get them as far from this cell that's kind of just making its way on the east side of the field right now. But I would imagine we're going to start hearing some go-arounds and some wind shear and some holding, set, manage speed. Okay, so we'll come out of this. Here comes Trill. I don't know why I'm saying set, manage speed, because we're already... Oh, it wants... Ah, check that out. That's cool. So that's what I was talking about. We wanted to look and see is if it's gonna, if it still has managed speed capabilities once in cruise, and can utilize cost index. And it looks like it can. Right. So here comes Trill. From Trill, we're going to turn on track to 175. And I want to get live ATC pulled up as well. So Tower West. Pull them up, play, properties. Alright, let's see if we start hearing some go-arounds. Hopefully y'all will hear them. I don't know why it's not... Y'all can't hear it. I don't know why. Like I have it selected, but I don't see any audio feedback. Let's try this. There you go. Now y'all can hear it. Alright, so next thing, let's do this. I want... properties. Chrome.
Bearing 354, cross runway 36 right at Juliet, and contact ground on point 8.
Takeoff, 36 right on Juliet, ground point 8 on the other side, 354. Shutdown 2267 Birdie.
Shutdown 2267, Allied tower number 2, 36 left to the land, wind 110 at 13. Traffic Airbus 321 on a 1 mile final.
I'm trying to get where y'all can see the live ATC or flight radar.
We got a precise Southwest 2267. And they told us 160 to Birdie, so that's probably what happened.
Browser. Oh, hell.
Tower Southwest 427, switch you for 36 left.
Remove. There should be an easier way to doing this. Let's try this. Properties.
Dallas 9267, go around, climb maintain 2000, fly runway heading.
Runway heading 2000, Southwest 2267.
Dallas 9267, as soon as able, offset 10 degrees to the left.
Frontier is on the ground. It's forced southwest to go around.
Cross runway 36 right, then kind of ground on point 8.
Tell you what, screw this.
South 427, runway 36 left to land, wind 110 at 13.
Clear land, 36 left, Southwest 427.
So there goes southwest going around. I believe that's because of Frontier on the is taking their time getting off. That Frontier guy may have just screwed him. The weather keeps moving in. He may not have time to circle back.
367, fly heading 360. Climb maintain 3000.
360, 3000, Southwest 2267. Tower Southwest 6108 on the RNAV 36 left.
6108 on tower number 2, 36 left to land, wind 110 at 1.
So what I'm looking for, like as a dispatcher, when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm kind of watching for any airplanes that start pointed in a weird, funny direction.
2015, see you.
It's like this guy was kind of like triggering a little, but looks like he's starting to kind of turn back on course. He's probably going around some weather right there.
So ring 53, traffic crosses downfield, runway 36 right, line up and wait. New departure frequency 124.8.
Alright, let's get this. Cool, and it is calculating a top of descent, which is good.
Tower number 2, 36 left to land, wind 090 at 12. So ring 53, climb maintain 7000. Fly ending of 030.
Alright, so you can barely hear ATC, okay.
36 right, clear for takeoff. Previous departure reported light stop. Southwest 427 join Juliet, hold short, 36 right, remain frequency.
Alright, turning it up now. It should be a little bit better.
Anyways,
let's see. Trying to get caught up, guys. Sorry,
departure, wind shear alert,
this
15 knot lost, 1 mile departure.
wind shear alert, 15 knot on departure end. If ATC is too loud, y'all let me know. We'll see what it does.
Southwest 427, cross runway 36 right at taxi with Juliet, then kind of ground point 8.
That sail's moving in.
Silver Ring 53, kind of departure, 124.8.
I think
Going to departure, Silver Ring 323.
15 knots is kind of pushing the limitation. And we are all over the place. So Cabana, what's going on, dude? Great to see you. Just to fill you in on what's going on. Let's see. Next track is
Southwest 6108, right turn at Juliet, cross runway 36 right, and then kind of ground on point 8.
Right turn on Juliet, cross runway 36 right, and point 8 Southwest 6108.
so basically what's going on is we're flying today with
United 780R now.
7 MELs.
Yeah, 780 on Terra. Heavy precipitation.
5 of those are downgrades. We've got flight directors in up. 1 brake is in up. Auto brake function is prohibited. We can't fly anything RNAV because of the flight director MEL. We are downgraded to a Cat 1 as well. So that should fill you in. That's what's happening. Pain in the ass, essentially. Okay, let's pull these guys back up. And so we're also watching Orlando arrivals. We're coming into Orlando. The current METAR in Orlando is reporting thunderstorms. So we're kind of watching to see if anybody goes around, see if anybody starts holding. And if they do start holding, maybe they'll hold off the coast and we'll... Oh, here we go. Starting to see some weird shit. It's like that. He's flying away from Orlando, so obviously, like that's one of those kind of things we're looking for. We start seeing some weird flight paths going on. Yep, here we go. They're about to start holding. I kind of like this. Look at this. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so they're about to start holding. About to have 2 Spirit flights holding. I'm sure Copa's going to join the party. What else we got? These guys, as they get closer, they'll probably start to hold. And let's pull, there's live radar again. Orlando International Airport. So it looks like it did kind of weaken a bit. Went from, well, still pretty heavy right there. Oh, oof, that's the latest image right there. Yeesh. So that's right on, just off to the left of the approach end of 36 left and right. That's probably going to put off some shear. see, where are we? Just south of Savannah. What are aircraft doing just south of Savannah? They're all still continuing. So we probably won't see aircraft holding on TCAS until we get probably around Ormond. Usually see Ormond's a pretty popular holding point for Orlando. We got Southwest 444 coming in. Let's see if they go around.
United 780 cross runway 36 right at Juliet and kind of ground point 8.
36 right at Juliet, 7 crossing, going to ground. United 780.
So Zach, I've got premium through myself. I pay for it. It's a tool that I use a lot at work, especially when trying to watch the entire operation, trying to watch every flight that's like from my company. So it kind of gives me a good way of like keeping up with our we got, for example, like we've got just because we saw these guys holding a second ago. So we've got Spirit Wings 378 and 283 holding. Or like 5. Who else? That's Breeze, right? Yeah. It'll be like, all right, we got Breeze, 602 holding here, and then we start keeping track of diversions and stuff like that. Because we'll see things change for diversions on here quicker than it will on a software at work. Got a dude getting close. Whoa, wrong button. He's past us. Company message. I'm sure it's going to be a delay report request. Still can't get this daggum McDo next to my leg to work. Freaking software that makes the McDo talk to the sims just not. It's not working very good. Send ADC for a 37-minute delay. Okay. Delay allocation card. This is not ATC, ramp, engineering delay, system reset, status message, new defect. There we go. Probably that. New route, fueling. We'll put it on END. So let's go back here. AOC menu. We want ADC delay. 37 minutes. Oh wait. END. 37 minutes.
Device 1917, Atlantic Tower,
We'll
36
say
left
but.
land, wind 090 at 22. Heavy rain, still touchdown. Runway 36 right, touchdown 6,500, or greater than 6,000, midpoint 4,000, rollout greater than 6,000.
Cleared land, 36 left, frontier 7217.
But tons of MELs. We'll send that to dispatch. And the flight ops, let them know why we were late. And if they want to know more, Chief Pilot can call and we'll explain them. Alright, so they just reported heavy rain on approach. Looks like Southwest 444 made it on.
4066, you ready to go?
Frontier 1717 is next.
4066, wind is 090 at 23. RNAV 2 fast. Runway 36 right. Set for takeoff. South 444, hold short, 36 right, remaining frequency.
Alright, so be listening out, see if we hear any go-arounds. Oh yeah.
Our Sterling's 2910 is RNAV 36 just left.
Sterling 2910, Atlantic Tower, 36 left to the land, wind is 090
I'm holding short of 10 left to
23.
Fort Lauderdale. Weather
You are
sail
following
just
traffic
passed
at
over the
Airbus
field.
320
Oh
and a mile and a
snap.
half final. You have a 50 knot overtake on that traffic. Reduce the final approach speed. RVR to 36 left. Midpoint is 1,800. Rollout is 1,400. Heavy precipitation for the numbers.
Spirit 2910, roger, yeah, we're flowing to final. Clear to land.
They just reported midpoint at 1800 RVR, so that's pretty much what, a Cat 2, Cat 1? That's not good. Let's see, Cat 1. That is minimums for a Cat 1. RVR 18.
Southwest 444.
Yeesh.
Cross runway 36
So now,
right at Juliet, then kind of ground.
if this was a real life flight, being that we are restricted, that we cannot fly RNAV approaches, if this was happening in real life, we would have to hold because the sail is over 35 left, 35 right's closed. We have an ILS and 36 right, so we could maybe use that as an option, but it sounds like all departures are on 36 right and all arrivals are on 36 left. Well, 36 left only has an RNAV approach. It doesn't have an ILS. So we would be struggling right now. We probably have to hold and wait for the sail to pass or divert.
Frontier flight 4066, kind of departure.
Uh-oh.
Flight 4066, pass along the pyro.
That was a different. All right, spiritual wings, what you got?
Cross runway 36 right at Echo, hold short of 36 left.
Telling you, somebody's gonna go around soon. I've been outside quite a few times and watched an airplane just go around. While we're listening for that, let's go check on Nolan's weather. Oh yeah, we got some stuff downhill. So it must have been this little cell right there.
Yes, sir. Frontier flight 770, cross runway 36 right at Juliet, then kind of ground the point 8.
Show me the frames, damn it. I want to like replay the frames and see what time that sail passed over. It looks like now the weather's pretty clear. Just have to have some stuff to deviate around. Nolan, which direction you going? You going north or south?
Frontier tug, cross runway 36 left at Echo, taxi to the ramp.
I don't know if that's severe. I think it's just
on a 3 mile
special.
final, please expedite.
Yeah, severes are orange.
2267, Cypher.
Cross runway 36 right, and then kind of ground on point 8.
Alright, spiritual wings made it on.
Southwest 2267, Cypher.
That's 2267 on tower 36 left, here for the land. Wind is 100 at 24.
Go to land 36 left, Southwest 2267.
5,500. Heavy precipitation to the number.
Huh. Southwest stepped on the controller.
That's 2267, 36 left for the land.
Clear to land, Southwest 2267.
Tower JetBlue 240, we're slow back to final, we're with you 36 left.
That kind of sounds like Zach right there. Hey, Tower. We fucking cleared the land.
I have to have it's on a 1 mile final. You're currently 2.99. That's supposed
Damn
to
it!
be pressed.
I need to get home. Cook on my shit. What grill you got?
RVR's midpoint is greater than.
What grill you got, Zach?
Is now 4,000.
You said it yesterday. Blackstone.
Clear to land 36 left,
Pretty sure
we
it's
got that
Blackstone.
traffic at the runway.
I gotta get some damn meat on my Blackstone. Shit, I'm hungry. I'm actually pretty hungry myself. Looks like we are right on
Alpha is now current.
our route.
0, wind 0,
Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good so far. Swing it 1 degree back to the left.
On the RNAV 36 left.
That's 2950, reduced to final approach speed. Number 2, 36 left, to land, wind 0 at 23. Have precipitation till final. Touchdown RVR is 5,000. Midpoint and rollout greater than 5,000. Traffic in Airbus 320 on a 2 mile funnel. I need 2.5 miles between the two of you.
I think the METAR's changed.
Oh.
Oh shit, yeah it did. Alright, so current METAR for Orlando. Wind 09017, gusting 24, 1.5 mile. Heavy rain, thunderstorms, mist, scattered at 700. Broken 2700 CBs, broken 6000, overcast 25,000, 22, dew point 21, altimeter 2990. Lightning distant east and southwest. Occasional lightning in cloud, cloud to ground, all quadrants. Thunderstorms, all quadrants, moving east. Great. So let's update that. So it is 2990. Wind 090 at 17 goes 24. We would have thunderstorms on the day that I don't even have flight directors. Temperature is 22. Damn, cooled off like 8 degrees. 7-8 degrees just from the preset. Looks like JetBlue made it on. And they stopped quick too. Oh, they're probably pretty light. Just came in from Nassau. Alright, Southwest 2950. And so that was the next thing I was wondering. So we had these guys down here holding to the southeast. Well, since all these guys have been making it in, I was thinking, it's like, are they going to keep holding them out, or are they going to give them a chance? And if other guys are getting in, pilots would typically take the chance. Okay, so he came in, spun a lap. Copa got sequenced in. He spun a lap. Frontier, delay vector. Breeze spun a little lap. More or less just cut a 360. Alright, let's see what's going to happen. Now, if this dude goes around, all the guys behind him that are getting sequenced in right now are probably going to start holding.
Southwest 2950.
Jetline 50 count.
Southwest 2950 is going around.
Going around. Told you. I knew it. I had a feeling this was going to be the one to go.
Southwest 2950.
So now that all these guys are getting sequenced to get cleared in, and he's going around, I'm sure they'll probably still give it a shot. At least one or two of them might. Other ones that hear about the go around, they might decide like, hey, let's just hold off. So let's see what happens, man. This stuff's like it's interesting. There's like strategy behind it, and kind of, I don't know, it's like watching TV to me. And you can tell this dude's like they're busy. You can tell just by how fast he's talking, how direct he is. We are 55 miles from Ormond. Top of drops just a little ways out. So we'll be starting our descent into the Orlando area with this weather here shortly.
Heavy precipitation, still short final. Runway 36 left, RVRs, touchdown 4,500 feet, midpoint and rollout greater than 6,000.
Southwest 2950, request a left turn for weather.
South 2950, kind of departure 120.15, they'll be able to accommodate that for you.
That's fucked. Should give them that turn first. It takes valuable time to make contact.
Silver 240, traffic holds in position, cross runway 36 right.
It looks like he's about to possibly fly over my house. Might have to go outside and see if I can't see him. I think he's turning too soon.
Just a moment that go around.
I'm up here.
Time for the guy that is landing parallel runway to make sure that they are down and safe, and then it'll be your turn.
Yeah, it didn't come quite north enough. Top drop, 20 miles. The bottom end of Bitho. 8,000 feet. See, so did Spirit 378 get diverted? I'm looking flight radar now. Undermine, they did a giant out of the way loop. Yeah, that's like a delay vector or sequencing. ATC will typically, with stuff like this going on, they try to get a little bit more spacing between aircraft. They'll spin them a loop, just to either for sequencing or for delay or whatever the case may be. Spirit's gonna set her down, Wolf. We're about to find out. Just see what these other guys are gonna do. Alright, so next question with this is, We have managed speed, so can this determine a vertical glide path?
United 1703. Light to moderate precipitation within the first 10 miles. RNAV too fast. Runway 36 right. Set to takeoff.
Oh, it looks like he's coming in on 35 left.
7 Sierra Bravo, take conditions on final. United 7 Sierra Bravo, left turn at Juliet and kind of ground on point 8. United 1704, Orlando Tower, runway 36 right, line up and wait. You saw similar sounding call signs. Company 1703 is also on frequency.
All right, Ormond, 33 miles. So what I'm curious is, yeah, it can't do. It can't do a managed descent, but we do have a glide path represented right there. So that helps. Turn on the ILS push buttons. We cannot use auto brake, so we're not going to mess with that.
United 1703, you too.
Looks like that's recalculating.
United 1704, light to moderate precipitation for the first 10 miles. RNAV too fast. Runway 36 right, set to takeoff.
Okay, arrival perf. Let's see if we can't figure this out. Runway 35 left. Let's call it good to medium. There's probably some standing water. Apply MEL 0106. What's MEL is this? Or METAR. That's not current at all. Wind 09017. Okay. Temperature 22. $2990. Let's check on the airplane. Damn.
United 1704, kind of departure, have a good day.
United 1704, we'd like a left turn.
United 1704, I cannot approve that. As soon as you check on, they'll be able to help you out.
Alright, spiritual wings. Where's Breeze at? Breezy fart.
And United 1704, kind of departure.
They're not catching up on the vertical path. Alrighty. Let's see. Oh, Spirit landed. Good. Good for them. Show them Southwest boys how it's done. Shut up, man. I'm trying to come down. 1,600 feet high, but we're starting to catch up. A little like no damn thunderstorms out here. This are all these tops are low as hell.
Tower Moxie 603 and 602 with you on the RNAV 36 West.
We are in live weather.
Tower 36 West, gonna land wind 0, enter 0 at 21. Light to moderate precipitation, still a 3-mile final. Runway 36 West, RVR
see.
36,000.
Landing weights 35, 130, caught 139 even. Auto brake. I don't have none. Max reverse, manual landing, flaps full, auto thrust on. Let's go braking. Auto brake fault.
Charging. 1 Hotel Left, I'm working on that right now.
We got Moxie next, and then Copa. Oh, I always go the wrong damn direction.
And Orlando Moxie 602, we are clear to land 36 West. Confirm.
Moxie 602 from Risker 36 West to the land.
Clear line.
Caroline. Caroline, Caroline. Dog's looking at me, what? Do we have enough fuel in this broke ass Airbus to just divert to the Bahamas? Looking pretty clear over there. We probably do, in all honesty. We got quite a lot of extra gas. Let's see, fuel prediction page is showing almost 2 hours of extra gas. So I'd say yeah.
Wind 080 at 1.
So we need to hold, we can hold. I wonder if this sail's kind of fizzled a bit. It looks like it's all predominantly to the southeast. That's the worst of it here. So this would be predominantly just moderate heavy rain. This stuff's the nasty stuff, but it might be just off the approach path just enough. Man, this like glide path
02, cross runway 36 right at taxiway Juliet, and then contact ground on point 8.
keeps recalculating and all right, out of transition altitude.
Okay, 621 Hotel Delta. There's a cell 3.5 miles north of field, and there is a cell 3.5 miles south of field. It's giving me a westbound corridor, and if you make a tight turn, you will fit right in it. 621 Hotel Delta, fly heading up 270.
Fit right in it.
Runway 36 left, set for takeoff. Climb maintain 5,000. One Hotel Delta 270.
Alright, so from Bitho, track's gonna be Why ain't no say? It'll be 183. Then what? Keep an eye on it. We'll go ahead and slow her down to 250. Damn, look at that. Now the fucking glide path's way up here. Cannot make up its mind. It's probably got something to do with the logic of the airplane being all distorted from no flight directors being on. I kind of want to run outside and see if I can see the thunderstorms. But we ain't got time. Was it Copa made it on? Breeze made it on? Should be alright for the short term. Try to squeeze our way in.
One Hotel Delta, contact departure 120.15.
Order departure. Good job, 1 Delta.
Flight 363 on tower 36 left, line up and wait.
Alright, 216. I think it's got me pretty high. Let's go 3,000. We've got at or above 3,000 at Fiddle. So once we get to this 5-mile range ring, we'll turn straight south, get parallel to the approach, fly the downwind, and then once parallel to Fiddle,
Okay, flight
we'll turn
363.
Fiddle and join the
Just
ILS.
south of Executive, there are 2 steps. One that is just west of Coyote, and one that is just east of Coyote. If you stay direct Coyote, it's going to take you right in between those 2 steps. We have light amount of precipitation just north of Executive where it starts to clear up. RNAS Coyote, runway 36 left, clear for takeoff.
Alrighty, below 10. Then lights on. We are not in icing conditions. Oops. Hit the wrong button.
Flexjet 363, come to departure, have a good day.
For departure, have a good one, Flexjet 363.
Sure would be nice to have some weather radar. Although it's what's irritating is like the weather clearly doesn't match real world or anything close to it. Alright, let's turn 185. I'll put us parallel to the approach. Alrighty, so just a little approach brief before we get down into it. So it's going to be a right seat landing. Aircraft type's 320 for tail strike avoidance. No auto brakes. No RNAV. We'll be shooting the ILS, runway 35 left, frequencies 110.5, final approach course is 5 degrees. 110.5, 5 degrees. Let's see. Final approach fix is spur, 1,600 feet. Decision height, 200 feet off the ground. Touching zone elevation is 88 feet. 30-degree God slope, approach lights, pappy on the right. If we go miss, we'll climb 3,000 on a 005 heading. We'll swing it back around, try again, or go hold. Minimum is 200 feet, half-mile viz. We got that. Runway's 150 feet wide, which complies with our auto brake MEL. It's going to be a left-hand turnoff. Y'all got any questions, throw them in the chats. Look at that, we got some real-life traffic right there. See if we can figure out who they are. Probably American and JetBlue, if I had to guess. Or JetBlue and Delta. I bet it's JetBlue and Delta. That's probably who we're seeing. I don't know. Yeah, Delta, JetBlue, and then American right there. I bet you. Put monies on it. What happened to ATC? It got quiet. No, it's still running. Alright, let's expedite the descent a little bit. Turn 275. Try and slide our way in between these two guys. No homo. And we're in the precip. Direct. Bit on insert, pull, just to redraw that line. Alright, let's go flaps 1. Speed checks, flaps 1, alt, heading. On the approach, Cat 3 single, which is probably incorrect. It should probably say Cat 1. Slow down to 170. So we're sliding in pretty nicely. We'll see how this guy gets up our ass or not. No. We'll say we've been cleared to land. I think they're landing everybody on 3-5 left, and we're listening to the 3-6s ATCs. That's probably why we're not hearing anything. Alrighty.
2,500.
Glide slopes captured. Loke star. Again, this should probably say Cat 3 or Cat 1 since we have no flight directors on. They're both technically deferred. And let's go gear down because the airplane's not really slowing down very well. Arm spoilers. We need V&E plus 10 to go flaps 2. We got V&E plus 5 right now. There's V&E plus 10, flaps 2. Perf. Sweet. VAP. It's 137. Cool, and we can still use managed speed. Flaps 3, speed checks. Flaps 3 and flaps full. There we go. The spoiler lever was like stuck going back and forth. Alrighty. So 200 foot, if we don't see the runway, we will go around.
$1,000.
1,000 stable. Landing checklist. Auto thrust speed. Cabin crews advised. Auto brakes none. Let's see where to go. And ECMO landing all green. Landing checklist complete. Runway. May have been some wind shear right there.
$400. $100 above. Minimum.
Continue my airplane.
$100.
Flight slow.
40. 30. 20. Retard. 10.
Damn. And welcome to Orlando, ladies and gentlemen. We were hella sideways coming in right there. And there's the Delta guy that we just came in behind. Saw him on flight radar. It's pretty cool. Start the boards, flaps up, and retracted. All right, let's clean her up. Boom, boom, boom. Auto TA. All right, after landing. Steer lights set, flaps retract, TCAS to standby, engine mode selectors normal, ground spoilers disarm, radar premature is off. After takeoff, or after landing is complete. Let's see, we're gonna go to, we'll go airside 4. You don't hear the wiper? It's loud as hell. I guess everybody else is hearing it. Man, that wiper's annoying. I don't know if that was a butter. That definitely seemed like anything but a butter. We were so damn sideways coming in. It's kind of throwing me off. I was thinking like, shit, we might have to go around. Just because I'm struggling with the perception nose of my airplane. So theoretically, after 3 minutes, we could single engine taxi, but because there was heavy rain, so likely standing water, which is contamination, we wouldn't be able to single engine taxi. So what gate is this? 86. Maybe 85. Nope. See nobody. We'll spare you all that. Yeah, that's 85. Oh, I guess there is. There's Frontier. Where's the marshaller? Are they hidden in the building? Yeah, I don't see the marshaller. I guess we are all on our own. So we'll do it this way. By the way, I did just fly the whole flight with the door open. Alright. Damn it. Damn it, still doing that. There we go. Sorry, every time I move the cable on my camera, it does that. Bro, let's go. I love how there's thunderstorms reported, but there's no thunder, nothing like that. Alrighty, parking brake set. Why did that do that? Huh. Every time I set the brake, it's turning the lights on. It's weird. We'll have to check that. Anyways, so we have the APU on. Shutdown 2. Shutdown 1. It just did it again. What the fuck, bro? Probably because of that. Well, welcome to Orlando. That was a hell of a flight, and it went a lot better than I thought it was going to go. A lot better. somehow we actually made it with no LNAV. Thank God there was some autopilot functionality that was working for us. There are some MELs where pilots have to literally hand fly the entire flight. Like both autopilot channels are deferred, stuff like that. So I'm just glad we didn't have to do that one. Wondering why our there we go. That was actually fun. Kind of enjoyed that. It was a change of pace. Had a lot of stuff to pay attention to on the departure and on the arrival. It was pretty cool. Yeah. What y'all think? Is this the kind of content that you enjoy and would like to see more of? Future dates, flying with some crazy MELs and stuff like that. Always open to any input. I did, and Jay, if you're still watching, you'd be proud of me. Last night I flew my very first full flight in the A310. Was somewhat uneventful. There's something going on with the throttles though. Took off out of JFK, powered out about 95%, and then like right after getting off the runway, for whatever reason, it put my right throttle in the sim at idle. So it's essentially like flying with no right engine. But then like I saw the engine rolling back, so I was like, alright, just fly the airplane. So I was just flying the airplane. Then I looked down and I noticed that the right throttle lever in the cockpit was at idle. So I was like, oh shit. So brought it back up to where it was at, turned the auto thrust on. After that, everything was great. So yeah, finally landed my first A310 full flight. I think I did a short like Fort Myers, Lauderdale once, something like that, but that don't really count, you know. So yeah, and then it also made YipJet over $31,000 on a less than 2 hour long flight. So once they implement cargo operations into New Sky next month, we're probably going to bring out the A310 and fly that sucker for our cargo ops. Hell, maybe we'll even bring out the MD-88 for some cargo stuff too. Not that many YipJetters probably know how to fly it. But well, guys, thank y'all so much for joining me on this one. Sorry I didn't get to talk to the chat as much. I feel like I'm saying that all the time. I do tend to focus a lot more on the sim than the chat. But if this is something that you enjoyed, if you enjoyed the non-standard, just normal A to B, LNAV, VNAV, you know, type of flight where we're actually throwing in some MELs, some different operating type procedures, let me know if y'all like that or not. But as always, smash the like button if you haven't already. Would greatly appreciate that. Subscribe if you enjoyed this in-depth kind of look at flight plan. We'll probably do this type of flying again. So we'll get the crew off too. We'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and shut the airplane down. So the airplane's gonna sit here for a minute. So let's do everything in reverse. Crew supply can come off. Ground control will stay off. Boom, boom. Nav 1, 2, 3. Turn these off. Nav lights, we'll just keep that on. Seatbelt sign can come off. Off. Leave that AC on. Yeah, we'll even make the cockpit look nice and pretty for the next crew. How about that shit? And we'll shut the plane down. And of course, gotta pull our seat out so we can get out. We'll pull the captain's chair back for him too. And maybe we'll just be extra nice. We'll open these up for any security searches that they might need to do in case this thing's going like international or something like that. And we'll turn off our EFB. Put it in our flight bags. We'll unplug the charger. Take that off there. And in case the sun comes out, you never know here in Florida. Bring those up. Look at us, just being the nicest pilots there are. Bam. We have walked off the plane. Look, even the oh damn! I thought the pilots disappeared when it's like powered off or something. That would be cool. Anyways, yeah, I've wanted to do this stream for a long time. So thanks for all of you who actually like came and hung out and watched the entirety of this thing. I'm sure it was a little bit less entertaining in the sense of me not interacting with y'all in the chat as much. So would an FO be allowed to land that, or would Captain take over? FO would land it. Now if there were issues and it was like purely like the FO was fucking up, then after a go around, Captain maybe assume control. Not really sure, but even if it's a kind of a sketchy landing or something, unless it's a captain's only airport, the FO can land it. So, but anyways, guys, thank y'all so much for coming to hang out. Callie, I'm about to hit you up on the Discord and see what your availability is like for a little flight training. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna try to get a stream in tomorrow. I do have to mow the yard, but other than that, if Shaq is free, then him and I may take another attempt at our passenger and pilot. Did you see my comment about my MEL filed aircraft the other day? I saw some about 14 MELs. Let's see. I have a flight the other day which was 14 MELs, no Cat 2, which was like 5 of them. Non-RVSM and APU during the flight. Sounds like a typical Brazilian jet, if you ask me. Oh yeah. We'll even pull the jetway, secure the aircraft. Oh yeah. Alright guys, well, hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm about to get with Callie and probably do a little flight training. I'm going to teach her some Boeing. Paulo, thanks so much for subscribing, my friend. Greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you were around for most of the flight. If not, definitely go back and watch some of the replay. We just did. Oh, look at that, A330. But we just did a flight with 7 MELs, 5 of which were downgrades to the aircraft's capabilities. So you probably enjoy that. So feel free to watch the replay. But guys, thank y'all so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe, smash the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. All that typical YouTube bullshit. And until the next one, which will hopefully be tomorrow, be good. Be good at it. Keep it on the wrong side. Until the next one, we'll see ya.